nothing is worse than an avocado that's gone bad, let me tell you. It gets all those like black stringy things in it. Ugh. 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 Even the thought makes me sick. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is RaiBshaw and I'm a writer, and this is my Healthy Writer series. Here in this series, I share with you all of my tips and tricks on how to live the healthiest writer life possible, at least to the best of my knowledge. So these are just things that I do in my life and things that I'm picking up on and learning. So today we are going to be talking about how to create a healthy meal plan. As a writer, it's always a challenge to find balance in your life between exercise, nutrition, family life, social life, work life, and all of the other things that life just throws at you. It can be a lot. And so having a meal plan, I've found, has really helped me to just relieve that stress of wondering, okay, what am I gonna make for lunch? What am I gonna make for dinner? Do I have the ingredients that I need? And on those grocery shopping trips, it really helps me to know what to get so I can stay within my budget, because for me, living within a budget is also very important, especially while I'm trying to save up for the cost of starting a self-publishing company. And so if you want to just come over here and join me at my desk, I'm going to show you what I do that has been really helpful for me in creating a sustainable weekly meal plan. Okay, so I'm here at my desk. Sorry if this angle's a little bit awkward and I've got trash in the back because this is just real life. I'm a normal human being, so here we go. So the first thing that I do before creating a meal plan is I have a list in front of me of all the foods I know I want to include in my diet. So this has been really helpful for me. I just started doing that this year, really, because in the past, whenever I tried to improve my diet, all I ever thought of was all the foods I didn't want to be eating. And I'd make this list of no this, no that, and to me that just made everything feel so restrictive, and it just wasn't sustainable because I constantly felt like I was telling myself, no, I can't eat these foods. Whereas now I've just flipped the focus around to be on the things I do want to be eating. All of the healthy foods I want to include in my diet that are full of antioxidants, that are anti-inflammatory, that are going to give me the nutrients that I need so that I don't have to take so many supplements and I can save money there. So now that I have my list of foods that I know I want to be eating, I'm not going to think about the foods I don't want to eat. I'm just going to try to plan meals around these foods. Then I also want to go and look through my fridge and my pantry to see what foods I already have on hand. Using both the foods that I already have on hand combined with the foods I know I want to be eating, I can create meal plans. For example, you want to be eating more kale, then you can go online on Pinterest, or you can look up people post things on their vlogs. I would look up delicious kale recipes, and then you can find a whole list of things, and I would say look for recipes that include ingredients you already have on hand, so that way you can be going through the foods you have now so they don't go bad and you don't have to buy as much when you go to the grocery store. Another website that I highly recommend is called Budget Bites, and I will link it down below. I love this gal. She posts a lot of delicious recipes that are perfect for people on a budget. It's really easy to go on her website and just type in what kind of food you're trying to prepare a meal around, and then you can look up all the recipes she has for that ingredient, basically. So now, once you have your list of all of the foods that you already have on hand and all the foods that you want to be eating more of, then you're going to want to put those into recipes, and then you take those recipes and you organize them into the week. I just print up a blank calendar for the month, and I just do this 1 week at a time because I find that's what works for me best. I always do my grocery shopping on Saturdays. Of course, you can pick whatever day of the week works best for you, or if it works best for you to do groceries, once a month or every day, whatever works best for you. I just found I am best at sticking to a budget and eating foods before they go bad, if I'm buying a lot of fresh foods, if I do my grocery shopping every week. So we are in the second week of February right now. This is today, and I'm going to be planning meals for this week, the third week of February. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go every day of the week next week, and I'm going to write down my meal ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner of those days. Okay, so now that I finished writing down all of the meals that I want for the entire week, for me, a lot of this is not exactly set in stone. The important part is that I have enough meals and enough food to prepare these meals throughout the week. Like, I know that this coming Thursday is going to be Valentine's Day and we might go out to eat, but just in case, I put down that we're going to be having steak with some greens for dinner that night. So maybe we won't end up eating that, but in case we don't go out, it'll be nice just to be able to look at the calendar and be like, oh, we've got steak, it's in the freezer, thaw it out and make some steak, you know? And so all of these are interchangeable depending on what life may throw at you throughout the week. I also tried to balance it out by having, if I know that I'm going to be making a heavier dinner that night, then maybe I'll prepare a lighter lunch, or if I know that my lunch is going to be a little bit heavier, I'll prepare a lighter dinner because I know we won't be as hungry for dinner later on. So this is actually very versatile. Even though you've written it down, it's really easy to mix and match and change things depending on how the week goes, but it's helpful before going grocery shopping to already know this is pretty much what we're going to be eating throughout the week. For lunches, we're pretty much already covered with what we have on hand. I just need to pick up a couple more things at the grocery store. And then for dinners, for us, one thing that makes it easy is we have certain nights where we pretty much always do the same dinner, so I don't have to, you know, recreate the wheel every single week. We always do spaghetti on Monday nights, and I found some low-carb noodles that I really like. So I pretty much always know we're gonna do some kind of pasta dish on Monday because it's easy and I really like pasta. Tuesdays tend to be our Taco Tuesdays, and so when we first got married and when we were dating, we always went out and got cheap tacos on Tuesday nights. And so sometimes I like to just make tacos here at home for dinner, you know, because again, it's effortless. I don't have to think about it that much. And then throughout the week, I just took foods that I already know we have on hand and foods that I want to be incorporating and just found recipes I liked for those that I will be cooking throughout the week. I've been doing this long enough that I pretty much already know recipes that we like, but sometimes I think it's fun to find a new recipe and incorporate it into the week. So now that I have the whole week planned out and I already know all of the ingredients I'm going to need, I'm just going to write out a quick grocery list. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I have my grocery list created. It's pretty short because I'm incorporating things we already have on hand. I won't need to buy a whole lot this week. I find that my grocery list kind of ebbs and flows throughout the month. Sometimes you've got to restock on the staples. We are pretty much good on the staples, so I don't need to worry about buying any of those. So it's just, you know, the odd thing occasionally. And then what I do is I use an app on my phone, which is called, I can't remember, and I'm using my phone to record right now, so I'll just write it down here what the app is called. But I use it, I think it's like Wanderlist or something like that. But anyways, I use that to actually put my grocery list on my phone, and what I like about it is that once I created the grocery list, as I'm grocery shopping and I put each thing in my cart, I can just click it and it disappears from off of the list. And so now that we have our grocery list and we have our meal plans all out for the week, we are gonna go to the grocery store and get our things. We're back to this unflattering angle that you guys are familiar with now. So I just figured that while we are on our way to the grocery store, I would just give a couple more tips that I like to use that help me to save money and buy more nutrient-dense foods. So a big one that I actually just learned recently and that I'm really liking is if you are buying vegetables out of their season, when you buy vegetables in season, they're usually more nutrient-dense and less expensive. So that's why a lot of people like to buy seasonal vegetables and just create their, you know, meal plans around those. So what I would recommend is if you want to buy vegetables out of their season, you can save money by buying them frozen, and they're actually better that way because vegetables are usually frozen during their peak season. So if you buy the vegetables frozen, they're actually going to be more nutrient dense than if you were to buy them fresh out of season, if that makes any sense. So that's something that I've started doing recently. And then another one is to know where you are willing to spend more money and where it won't make much of a difference to spend more money on the more expensive products. So for example, eggs. My husband and I eat eggs every single day. We love eggs. And For a long time, we were eating the cheapy eggs because we eat so many eggs a day. We were like, okay, well, we can get 3 dozen eggs for $6, you know, if we buy the cheapest ones possible at our local grocery store, which is Smith's. I grew up eating like nice eggs. So for me, it was really hard to give up the good eggs and buy the cheap ones because I can taste a difference. I know that makes me sound like a snob, but it's true. There is definitely a difference. I found a local deal on pasture-raised eggs, and so now we spend a little bit more money on eggs, but for us it's worth it because eggs are a huge staple in our diet. So we would rather cut corners and buy the cheap stuff elsewhere and then buy the more expensive eggs. So that's just an example of know what your priority is in your diet and know where it's worth it to you to spend a little bit of extra money for the organic or, you know, whatever. Like a lot of people follow the Dirty Dozen rule and they will only buy organic in the Dirty Dozen. So if you aren't familiar with the Dirty Dozen, there are 12 foods that tend to absorb pesticides more than other vegetables. So I know like strawberries are one of them, peaches, I think apples. You can look it up, whatever. So I know a lot of people don't worry about buying organic everything, but they will bite the bullet and buy more expensive when it comes to the Dirty Dozen. So that's another way that you can eat healthier on a budget, is just know where it's worth it to you to spend more money and where it's okay for you to cut corners. So these are some tips, take them or leave them as you will, but I found them interesting and I'm always looking for other ways that I can, you know, make better decisions about where I'm spending my money, how I'm spending my money. I'm just rambling on now. I don't even know if I'll put this in the video or how much I'll keep or cut out, but I just mostly wanted to talk to you guys while I'm on my way to the grocery store. Alright, that was a not too shabby. Didn't do too bad there. I was able to get everything on my list. Well, except for a couple of things. We're still going to go to the Asian market and to the Indian market to get a couple other things, just like 2 more things. But I was able to get pretty much everything on my list and stay under my budget of groceries for the week, and I was able to get some additional things as well. I'm always looking in the discount carts that they have, because let me tell you, I used to work at a grocery store, and if anything gets dented or just doesn't look pretty or it's going to expire within the next week or 2, they will put it in a discount cart for like super cheap, and it's still perfectly good food and it's not bad. So I mean, as long as you plan on eating it, you know, especially if it's close to expiring, as long as you eat it that week, or I plan to eat that earlier in the week, and then hey, you save yourself some bucks. So I was able to get these things I'm excited about because I think my husband will really like these for lunch, because it'll be easier than making a sandwich on days when maybe our morning routine goes a little bit too long and we don't have time to prepare lunch. Then I got these. They were on sale for 99 cents, which is awesome. And they're these little like pepperoni pizza wraps. And I got a bunch of other things similar to that that are just like kind of little meat and cheese and nut snacks that were all super, super cheap. And I just wiped all those and slid them into my cart because I was like, yes, please. All right, so now we are going to run to a couple of ethnic markets to get some really good stuff, and then we will be done. Concludes my shopping for the week. Please excuse the bad lighting. It is currently nighttime and I just want to close out this video before heading home. What I love so much about this system that I've created for myself is that it just becomes really easy. So I just know what I'm going to be eating during the week. I have the food that I need for the most part. And that saves me a lot of time. And as a writer, especially if you've seen my day in the life vlog that I posted, I'll link that up here or up here, whatever. But you can go ahead and watch that, and you will know that my time is very precious to me, and I would rather spend more of it writing than walking around my kitchen, opening all the cupboards in the fridge, trying to figure out how to make something with all the random stuff that I have, because believe me, I've been there. So this just ends up, in the long run, saving me a lot of time. I'm happy with the foods I'm eating. I'm not just filling up on like chips and candy and junk food that makes me feel bad and sluggish. I end up having more energy. I just feel better. I feel better about myself. And yeah, that just makes for a happy writer for me. Please comment below what you do to create a meal plan for the week, or to save time, to make sure that you're eating the right kinds of foods, all of the above. This was just me showing you what I do, but I would really love to hear what you guys are doing and what are your tips and tricks. Please let me know below, and tune in next week for another Healthy Writer video, hopefully. These are probably going to go up kind of sporadically as I'm able to make them. That concludes this episode of the Healthy Writer series. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be kind to yourselves and live your happiest, healthiest writer life possible. I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Would you come and take a walk with me? We'll cross over the mountains and we'll reach the pale blue sea. I love you, I'm so glad you love me too. And I wrote this song